Hey guys, it's Carl from GuitarBreakdown.com, and today we've got another short lesson on the basic elements of the Van Halen solo style. The lick that I have for you today, you heard at the beginning. I'm mainly just kind of deriving it from the version of the lick that you hear in Spanish Fly from Van Halen 2, a little short idea, scale idea that's in there. He plays this a lot though in a lot of different situations, and as you heard after that first example, I played a few different, just applied it to different things using the same thing. So it's just different fingerings can produce a lot of different possibilities with just the right hand kind of doing the same thing. Your right hand doesn't really know the difference from one version of the lick to the other, really. So anyway, it's a really cool way to play groups of 6, and it's that mixture of legato and picking that he does. So let's just take a look at the lick the way that he does it in Spanish Fly first, and then we'll talk about some variations from there. Okay, so as the lick happens in Spanish Fly, it's sort of based on a scale, but like most things that Van Halen does, he does manipulates the scales with symmetrical patterns and chromaticism and things like that. So the way that this starts out is a half step and whole step on each string, starting on the 2nd string and then the 1st, and in the 7th position. So we have 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret. So you pick the first one and then hammer the next 2, and then you pick on the high string. So again, that's 1st, 2nd, and 4th fingers again. So we have F sharp, G, A, and then on the E string we have the B, C, and D. And so he does that twice, and then goes up to the next pattern, which is going to be G, A, B on the 2nd string. So that's the 8th, 10th, and 12th frets. Again, pick once, hammer twice. And then up, down, up on the 8th, 10th, and 12th frets of the E string, so that's C, D, E. So it does that twice. So far we've got. Okay, then he just goes up a whole step and plays the same pattern, and so it doesn't really stick with the scale. But it's really kind of musical. That's what's cool about these symmetrical patterns that Van Halen uses. He does that a lot more than playing a regular scale, and the chromaticism, the interesting note changes in it, really sound a lot more interesting than just a plain scale. So that's something to consider. So that was 10th, 12th, and 14th string, fret rather, on the B and E strings. And then the last one before it comes out of the lick, he just does once at the 12th position, so 12th, 13th, and 15th, so B, C, D. And then same pattern, 1, 2, and 4, 12th, 13th, and 15th frets on the 1st string, so E, F, G. Okay, so it ends with that little lick there that's kind of ends up on a F major 7, so arpeggio. So that's going to do a little pull off after you do those picking notes ascending, and then to the D on the 2nd string, 15th fret, back to the E on the 1st string, 13th fret of the 2nd string, 14th fret of the 3rd string, and then the 15th fret of the 4th string, and then open E and B. Without getting into all the stuff about how that's applied, we'll save that for a lesson on Spanish Fly at some point. Main thing that I wanted to get into though was just the actual the 6-note group there. So if you play that in once per beat, that's what's referred to as a sextuplet or a 16th note triplet. Or it could be 2 beats worth of time if the tempo is fast, and then it'd just be 8th note triplets. But really easy to apply rhythmically because of how it works out. Now, something that, from a technical standpoint, one of the really cool things about doing this is if you're trying to build speed, let's say that you're trying to build up your right hand speed, sometimes it's really hard to play a lot of fast stuff for a long time and stay synchronized. With a lick like this, you could just play, you get to play part of it picking and part of it not picking. That brief little split second of resetting in there gives your mind a chance to kind of comprehend and stay locked in to what it's doing, and you can build that speed burst type thing a lot faster than building a steady just all picking type of a lick. But the cool thing is that when you do that, that starts to translate into those longer lines later and will just generally help your overall picking speed. So keep that in mind, and that's a good reason to be working on this. So let's take a look at a few of the variations that we could do with the lick besides just playing them as we hear it in the Van Halen solo. Okay, so the first thing we might do is just use it to play, literally play a scale without manipulating the scale into symmetrical patterns. So you know, to do that, we just need to know the 3-note per string scale pattern. So, so first of all, let's just apply that to a G major scale, 3 notes per string, starting on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So this pattern is a really easy one because it's just pairs of strings as far as the shapes are concerned. So we have on the 6th string and then the 5th string we'll have 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then again 3rd, 5th, 7th. And then on the 4th string and 3rd string we'll have 4th, 5th, 7th, and then 4th, 5th, 7th. And then on the 2nd string we'll have 5th, 7th, 8th, and then again 5th, 7th, 8th. So to apply the lick, sort of how I was doing some of the stuff in the early part of the introduction, we would just take that and play each pair of strings the way Van Halen's Spanish fly thing is. So we'll go down, hammer, hammer, up, up, down, up. So down, hammer, hammer on the low string, and then up, down, up on the next string. And then we just do it to the next pair, and the next pair, and the next pair, and the last pair. Okay? Okay, so then we just put it together into a whole pattern. Then we could continue up, you know, the shapes or whatever, so, you know, link it all over the fretboard if we need to or whatever. So I might advise someone that's trying to build speed and learn their patterns to just apply the simple pattern to all 7 3-note per string major scale patterns and just kind of make a continuous exercise out of it. It's a great way to work up your knowledge of the fretboard and your picking speed. Okay, so another variation of this lick, we could apply it to something that's not even a scale, like maybe a diminished 7th arpeggio. So let's do that. We'll put it on, we'll play one from E at the 3rd string, 9th fret. And it's going to be minor 3rd, minor 3rd. So we go E to G to B flat. And that's hammer, hammer, you know, pick, hammer, hammer. And then up, down, up on the high string. So that's going to be C sharp, E, G. Okay, so we're skipping the B string on this one. Okay, so that's another one you could do. And since it's symmetrical, you could move it all around the fretboard and create just sequences of that same diminished triad or same diminished 7th arpeggio in sequences of 6. Okay, so another version of the lick that I played in the beginning with all the little variations was based on a diminished 7th that moves diagonally across the fretboard. So we could actually just hook it to the previous thing that I was talking about, where we had this, just that one little segment. If we go down below that with just a symmetrical pattern, we can create a longer lick. Okay, so I'm going to start with B flat on the 6th fret of the 6th string, and then the D flat on the 9th fret, and the E on the 12th fret. So again, pick once, hammer, hammer. Next string is going to be up, down, up, so starting on another E, and then down on G at the, so that'll be 7th fret and then the 10th fret, and then we'll have a B flat at the 13th. So that is, and then we're going to double that last thing, but we're going to pick it, or actually going to play, we're going to pick the first note and hammer the next two. So you have, then we go up a fret and play the same shape again. So that's going to be 8th fret, 11th fret, and 14th fret. So that's B flat, D flat, and E respectively, an octave higher than we started. Okay, then we'll repeat that same string. So pick once and hammer, hammer. And then you're going to connect to the where we kind of started our previous lick, or the lower part of our previous lick. So E, G, B flat. Okay, so 9th, 12th, and 14th fret, or rather 9th, 12th, and 15th fret, sorry. So, and then we just connect to that lick that I showed previously. So we're just extending that lick a little bit longer that way. Alright guys, that's our short lesson for today, and I hope you will find this a useful lick and even a useful technique to build speed with if you're wanting to work on your pick speed versus your legato speed. I love the sound of it. I think it's really cool to mix legato and picking like that. I grew up on the Van Halen stuff, so I guess that's what I like to hear. But other players like Paul Gilbert, he uses it a lot. All kinds of guys are using this. For instance, you know, Paul Gilbert uses it with not just scales, but a lot of arpeggio shapes and stuff too. So you might want to explore it a little further and try some different things with it. It's a great way to build speed. And you can use it, like I was saying earlier, to even just help you have a way to explore and learn your fretboard scale patterns, the 3-note per string stuff. So that's really all it requires, is 3 notes per string. So anyway, I hope you get some use out of it and have fun with it, and I will see you again soon right here on guitarbreakdown.com.